I want you to close your eyes and just imagine this for the next 30 seconds. You're full of ambition, have huge goals for yourself, and know that you have everything it takes to make it, but you're lost on where exactly to begin. This was the position I was in at 18 years old, a teenager who knew exactly what he wanted out of life, but had no idea how to get there. And it wasn't until I made my first $1 million online and developed certain traits that I realized making money and becoming successful is more than just building a business, it's building yourself. And that is why whenever anyone asks me to this day, what is the easiest way to become a millionaire? I always tell them that it's by becoming the person who's capable of making $1 million. By having a life built around extremely high quality habits that will pay off in the long run, and a life built around ultimately being the best version of yourself for your business and for your future. And that is why in this video, I'm gonna outline the 5 principles that you pretty much need if you wanna make your first $1 million online as a teenager or young adult. There's really no cheat code or quick route to get rich, but if you apply these 5 principles, you'll be years ahead of everybody else. So without further ado, let's jump right on into it. Principle number 1 is understanding that in order to be at the top, you have to start at the bottom. I'll tell you firsthand, I started an agency that today is worth multiple 7 figures, but I can promise you I did not start like that. I started from ground zero, just like you might be right now. I had absolutely zero special handouts. I worked at a retail store at 18, and as a DoorDash driver at 19, I had $40 in my bank account, and I had nobody supporting me when starting out. Everything that I built by myself. And it's through this realization that if you want to be successful, you have to start from the bottom. I've used this analogy in other videos, but this just explains it so well. Success is truly like climbing a mountain. You start your journey at the bottom and you hike your way up to the top. On that hike, you'll face a ton of struggle and stress. There'll be moments where you're tired, mentally exhausted, and feel like giving up. But ultimately, you have to realize that the only way to fail is if you turn around and walk your way back down to the bottom. But that is the path to becoming successful. You have to be a pawn first before you become a king. You have to move like a pawn, one step after the other, until one day you've surpassed your goals. And I'm telling you, realizing this will help in more ways than you could possibly imagine, because you'll reframe your entire mindset from thinking that you need to be an overnight success. And newsflash, the only overnight success stories are lottery winners. And most of these lottery winners end up being more depressed than they were before they even won, because they have all this money but did absolutely nothing to obtain it. They lose all sense of purpose. So take it from me, these days when you're at the bottom are the most special days of your entire journey, because you'll look back on them in the person you're becoming and really see the true path you've created for yourself. Now, the next principle I want to talk about is the girl you decide to be with. And you probably figured this was coming at some point, but it's super important. And look, I'm not some red pill YouTuber guy. I'm here to tell you the facts. If you're in your teenage years or your early 20s, you need to be extremely strategic on how you approach women. And I'm not telling you to lock yourself inside a room and isolate yourself from the world. Actually, far from that. I'm saying you need to be selective. I've seen so many young, ambitious guys get sidetracked by meaningless flings and short-term relationships. They think that they can balance the demands of building a business with the distractions of the casual dating world we live in now. But let me tell you, it's all a trap. Here's the thing. When you're young and building a business, most women simply cannot relate to what it's like. They don't understand that you won't have an abundance of spare time to throw at them. And because of this, you need to be very careful about how you navigate those waters. Most of the people you'll meet aren't looking for anything serious. They're just drawn to the idea of being with someone who's potentially going places and gonna be successful. But they're not really invested in your journey or your long-term success. And that is where the danger lies. When you're caught up in the excitement of casual dating, it's easy to lose sight of all your goals. You start prioritizing short-term pleasure over long-term gain. And you start compromising your values and your work ethic, all for the sake of trying to impress a girl that you're probably not gonna be with in a year's time. But here is the flip side to that coin. If you can find someone who's truly in your corner, someone who believes in your vision and supports your hustle, that can be life-changing. And I'm talking about a genuine partner who's with you through all the ups and downs, who pushes you to be the absolute best version of yourself and understands the sacrifices you need to make to achieve greatness. That kind of relationship is rare, but when you find it, you need to immediately wife her up. Because having someone who truly has your back can give you a level of strength and motivation that you can never find anywhere else. But if you haven't found that person yet, or if you're not sure they're the one, then you need to be very cautious about investing too much time or too much energy into that one person. Your priority right now should be solely focused on building your empire. developing your skills, expanding your network, and putting in the hard work that's ultimately going to make you your first 7 figures one day. And I know that it can be lonely sometimes, but trust me, short-term relationships are a meaningless solution that will only hold you back in the long run. So take my advice. If you're serious about becoming a millionaire at a young age, then you need to be very intentional about your time and your relationships. Either stick to something serious with someone who shares your values and supports your vision, or keep your head down and just focus on building your empire. And that brings me to my next principle, your friends. And what I'm about to share with you right now will resonate deeply with a lot of you guys watching this video. The principle is that it is okay to outgrow your friends, and you probably will. The more you grow and level up in your life, the more you will outgrow some of your old relationships or friendships. It's just a natural part of the process. You're gonna start to realize that some of your old friends are just coasting through life, doing the bare minimum and living for that next hit of dopamine, whether that's partying, playing video games all night, or chasing girls at the club. And look, I'm not saying there's anything inherently wrong with those things. If you wanna live your life and play Fortnite until 2 a.m., sure, go for it. I have no problem with that. But do not expect to be successful or make $1 million at a young age by playing Xbox 24/7. And for many of you, when you start working on yourself and your business, you're gonna notice that your old friends start to become more and more different. You'll realize they're not pushing themselves to improve and achieve something. They're just living for dopamine and living for fun. And you'll realize that you don't want to have people that are just average in your close circle. It can be a super tough pill to swallow, especially if you have a lot of history with these people, but you've got to be honest with yourself about who's really adding value to your life and who is holding you back as an anchor. You've got to be willing to make some tough decisions about who you spend your time with and who you let influence your mindset as well as your habits. Because here's the thing, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you hang around 5 bums, you're automatically gonna be the 6th bum. And if you hang around 5 millionaires, you're automatically gonna be the 6th millionaire. You'll start to see what's possible and feed off their energy and their ideas. You'll start to hold yourself to a way higher standard because you know that's what your friends expect of you and vice versa. And every time you achieve something, you'll have a circle of friends there to encourage you and cheer you on in more ways than you can ever think of. Because they understand the struggle of entrepreneurship at a young age. They understand what it's like when the odds are against you and you have to make it. And when you do make it in life with your best friends, I promise you there is no better feeling. So don't be afraid to branch out of your current social circle and meet new people. Now, the 4th principle I want to share with you is working when nobody else does. And this is something I've always stood behind since the start of my journey as an entrepreneur. And it's finding ways to work when most people wouldn't even consider working. Think about it like this. 90% of people see driving as a time to listen to music and just chill. But what if I told you you could use that time to educate yourself? Let's say I'm a brand new agency owner and I have to drive somewhere an hour away. I see that as a perfect time to listen to educational content or a podcast that's gonna further benefit my business. Maybe it's a video about content creation, Facebook ads, or even just a video to help with my mindset and work ethic. It really just comes down to finding something that will put you a little closer to your goal. This adds up throughout your day as well. If you have random tasks around your house that you have to do, put your AirPods on and just learn. You need to optimize on every opportunity you can to gain more knowledge of how to achieve your goals. And finally, my last tip is to document your journey. This is crucial for building your personal brand and attracting the right opportunities and people into your life. By sharing your progress, struggles, and successes, you create a narrative that people can follow and support. This not only builds your credibility, but also establishes you as an authority within your niche over time. Plus, documenting your journey can open doors to new opportunities, collaborations, and other income streams that can help propel your business forward. So do not underestimate the power of a strong social media presence, because it can literally be your ticket to reaching that $1 million milestone. Now, if you found this video helpful, go check out all the links down below in the description. There's tons of free value that you don't want to miss out on. And as always, hit the like button and make sure to subscribe so you never miss out on a future video.